guiding light is all I know. Through wood and steel, through fire and lace, I'm blessed to walk within your grace. Is to a throig arcane. You laid the path before me, you guided every step. Raise the hammer, string the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sure? We'll build the land, our hearts within. From dawn till dusk, I work, I strive. With your blessing, I'll survive. The loom, the forge, the sword, the grain in your name, I rise again. And chill, got buad, got tolan, got trio. In you lies strength, in you lies skill. Each victory, each talent, each trial. No task too great, no skill too small. Your gifts, dear goddess, guide us all. Into force. Without your light, we have no guide, but with your hand, our place abides. Raise the hammer, string the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sore? To find it until our greatest deed. By the grace of the goddess we are free. We'll build the land, our hearts within. I'm blessed to walk within your grace. Blessed by her grace, forever, forever.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Search for Steel. I'm your host, Daniel, and our avatar, is Ampere. Today we're going to talk about a lot of different things, but in game, we are going to go get some cotton. So we're going to be traveling for a little bit. Overall, it shouldn't be too bad. As far as gameplay, shouldn't get into any combats. I'm hoping not, since I'm going to be in a level 3 area with just my leather armor. So let's hope not. It's going to be soon. I'm going to have to go and get some go and get some stuff for cooking. Okay. Let that come up. And we'll head on down and we'll start the conversation. Since I'm passing by, I should get this little thing over here. There we go. Perfect. Got my healing potion, got my stamina potion. And then we are going this way. Got some new players on the server, so you might see some chatter over there on the left-hand side bottom. We're going for a midnight swim. There's the moon. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, episode 103. We're gonna be doing, or exploring, I should say. That was weird, but that's okay. We're gonna explore the unspoken language that underlies every interaction. From everyday conversations to boardroom meetings, and even in virtual worlds like MMORPGs. We'll start with the basics, and then we'll move into the more advanced applications. And I'll also mention ancient philosophies from Greece, India, China, Indonesia, can't speak tonight. Oh my God. Indigenous cultures and Islamic Golden Age as well. We'll interweave them because this channel is, and will probably forever be, the fact that the ancient philosophies are relevant to all of us. They figured out stuff thousands and thousands of years ago. Lest we forget those lessons and relearn them in modern terms. Seems silly, doesn't it? So this channel is here to package those ancient philosophies into the learning and the wisdom that we can use in everyday lives. So if you're here for the channel the first time, welcome. And as I start out with everyone, I don't. There we go. In the chat. Hello, world. That was me going off screen and typing. So if I have to hit your chats, I think it's going to be interesting to say the least. Okay. We're going to be going, just for play's sake, we are going all the way down here. And these are considered the wetlands. And if you look at the wetlands, where are we? Oh, the drowned lands. Oh, they're only tier 2. That's not too bad. I thought they were tier 3. The Pale is actually a 3. I get at the Pale all the time. Forsaken Forest is a 3. Eerie Pines is not. The Eerie Pines are down here. They're 3. Or they're 3.5. Yeah, these are pretty, yeah. They're not the easiest, so for sure I can see 3.5 there. Corrupted Plains, of course, is 4s, and then the Cursed Rocklands and the Whispering Woods, right? So, yeah, let's do this. Like I said, we're only grabbing the some cotton because I'm working on my tailoring. But as we do that in the background, we will be looking at, or I should say, our past podcasts have covered topics such as wisdom, ethics, leadership, decision-making, and social contracts. If you're interested, please check them out. Now, while they laid the past foundations for our conversation, tonight's episode can stand alone in exploring the nonverbal communication. As a matter of fact, I make reference to the fact that I should be providing context for nonverbal communication. So why have I highlighted all that? Well, to put it simply, the nonverbal communication is often the most powerful part of our language and our message in the communication. Mastering this, let's say, silent technique, right? This silent language can transform your personal relationships, career interactions, and even your performance in online games. So I encourage everybody to take notes and reflect on everything we say. Another part of this channel is critical thinking. Don't take what I say as gospel. Take what I say as an introduction into the wider world that you're opening up for yourself. Okay, so I cut this in about 5 parts. So in the first part, we'll define nonverbal communication and its core components, right? In part 2, we'll explore cultural and ancient philosophical perspectives on nonverbal cues. Then we're going to jump right into discussing practical applications in everyday life, like career, leadership, and MMORPGs. In part 4, we'll present the empirical research and provide some practical exercises you might want to use to hone your skills. And then I'll introduce a special segment on digital nonverbal cues such as emoticons and gestures and avatar animations. And I'll offer some suggestions to developers. And why did I do that? Because we'll get into it, but basically nonverbal communication in a game is just as important. And in this game, we can stop. We have wave, lie down, please, no, and sit so far. That's our nonverbal communication cues for other people. I have to stop, and then I have to key a certain B. Bravo is the key I have to hold. And then I select which emoticon or which gesture that I want to provide. And the person has to be looking at me to see it, of course. By the end of tonight's session, you should have a robust set of strategies to harness the power of nonverbal communication in all areas of your life. All right. I have notes on the side, so I like to keep going with my notes as I travel. Unfortunately, as I'm traveling, there's bars around. And I have the axe. I can still kill a bear with an axe. It's just going to take forever. All right, so let's talk about nonverbal communication. So nonverbal communication is the process of conveying meaning without words, using body language, facial expression, gestures, posture, tone of voice, and even silence. So what are the key components to nonverbal communication? Well, I'll name them all and then I'll go and define them for you. Body language, facial expressions, gestures, paralanguage, and proxemics. Yeah, that's a mouthful. There is a badger up here, and if you've been with my channel for any amount of time, you'll know I hate badgers. Really? How do you miss that? My skinning's getting up there. I'm starting to really be able to get some animal skins worth the fine leather that I'm trying to produce in my leather working. All right, let's define these. So, body language. How posture, movement, and positioning express attitudes. The facial expressions, emotions conveyed through facial cues, like smiles, frowns, and raised eyebrows. There we go. That was better. That's a better encounter. There's a little puppy on my right. He's not going to bother me. I'm too far away from him, so that's fine. He'll deal. If he does come over, I could probably take him. Nah, I can take him. my axe work isn't exactly up to snuff yet with my level, so it's all right though. All right. So gestures, hand and arm movements that emphasize or clarify. Paralanguage, various variations in tone, pitch, and volume of our voice. Ah, crap. We'll use some magic and we'll get away from these idiots. I didn't want to use that magic yet, but that's fine. Nobody's following me. Got another wolf on the other side here. I can run by him, but I would have rather the magic. That's fine. I have a potion of stamina, and I'll show you how to kind of incorporate that in a pro move. So, proxemics, the use of space and physical distance in interactions. Ah, crap. He got me. I thought I could get by him, but I guess not. There we go. All right. So, what's the practical impact? Even when words are clear, nonverbal cues can alter the message's meaning. They help build trust, convey emotions, and sometimes even contradict verbal messages. Oh, I see what I did. How interesting. Did I hit enter on that? I guess I did. Okay. Awesome. Somebody's like, what is this guy doing? That's all right. So, what's an example of this? Well, a supportive smile while offering criticism can soften your message. Genuinely supportive people, like I said, nonverbal communications are they're effective, and a lot of people can can understand when you're not being genuine intuitively. And they're critical for effective leadership and team dynamics, right? So understanding these cues is essential for both face-to-face and digital communications. So in everyday life, we build trust and connection with these, right? Open, relaxed body language signals approachability, right? Example, maintaining eye contact and nodding shows you're fully engaged. Nonverbal cues often account for 60 to 70% of the message's impact. Think about that. 60 to 70%. It's crazy. That's a big chunk of your message just from your body cues and your nonverbal communication. So you also have this emotional conveyance, right? Facial expressions and tone express genuine feelings, sometimes more powerfully than words. For example, if you have a quick, sincere smile, can convey warmth and approval, right? So empirical backing. So studies by Albert Maharaban suggest that large portion of emotional meaning is transmitted nonverbal. His insights are vital for effective, or these insights, I should say, nonverbal insights are essential or vital for effective interpersonal communication. All right. So yesterday I forgot to do this, so we're going to gather. Do some grace. There we go. Oop. Can't remember where all the content is on the side. I thought there was some up here, but you can't remember. Nope. It's all on this side. Oh, there it is. I thought I just remembered it. You can also mark on the map where you've located certain materials. So if you're new to the game, please do so. I am looking for cotton, and it's fairly easy to see. So I don't need to mark it on my map. So I choose not to. These, though, like lavender, I might mark on my map just because they're harder to see. Not necessarily difficult, but the more rare stuff, I definitely mark on my map, right? I don't want to miss anything rare if I'm coming out for the rare finds. Of course, as I'm doing this, I'm not looking at my notes, so I'm going to take a pause from the lecture, if you will, the information dissemination. That's a bear. Where is he? Ah, there he is. He's off in the distance. This is the pale, technically. He's a gray bear. Okay. I can take him. Like I said. Rather not. Okay. So, preventing miscommunication. When nonverbal cues match verbal messages, they reinforce clarity. A confident person or posture reinforces assertive statements. If you've ever noticed somebody who's very confident and their posture is not, they don't diminish from the conversation. They're out. Maybe their chest is out, or they're sitting up. They have a very fundamental way of providing the information because they're confident in that information, right? And the message thereby is going to be a little bit more, or well, received in that way. It might not be received well, but it will be received with the nonverbal cue, right? All right, let's talk about empirical backing. So again, Albert Marabon suggested that large portion of emotional meaning is transmitted non-verbally. So again, vital for effective interpersonal communications. So when to use it? Daily conversations, public speaking, virtual meetings, digital interactions, to name a few. Let's look at some of the advanced. I think many of us can definitely see the basic nonverbal communications, or have been in a position where those nonverbal communicated tics, if you will, or I don't think tick is the right word for it. Nonverbal. That's a good word for that. well, just non-verbal communicative methods. Yeah, I have to figure out something there, huh? There's some boar over here. I don't really. Boar are worse than bears and wolves because the way you fight them, you're gonna have to block a lot. And it's a pain in the butt. I think they're over here somewhere. There they are. I think they're old. Yeah, 25, level 25. 2 would be. I could take them with the healing potions, but it'll be not the best for me. I figure over here is a little bit better for the swimming. So I'm gonna do a little parkour. Take a moment. There we go. Go this way. Trying to get over the other side quickly. But you can't swim to the other side. Even with my stamina at 195. I'm not at the point of having as much stamina as I need to do that. All right. So let's talk about micro expressions, right? These are the more advanced stuff. So brief, involuntary facial expressions that reveal true emotions, like a fleeting look of surprise that isn't consciously controlled. Now, the one of the things that, or I shouldn't say one of the things, there was a TV show that did micro expressions. They exaggerated it, and they had somebody that was really good at, this savant that was really good at figuring it out. And honestly, there's certain micro expressions you'll be able to catch, and certain ones you just simply you'll have no idea, right? Synchrony in group dynamics. Coordination of nonverbal cues among team members enhances group cohesion. For example, you're synchronizing your body languages during a team huddle. Cultural nuances. This is a big one. Different cultures interpret nonverbal cues in various ways. So direct eye contact is respectable in Western cultures, but may be seen as may be seen as confrontational in some East Asian context. So in your nonverbal communicative cues, you need to understand the culture or the culture of the person you're communicating with, not only in communication in general, but in nonverbal communication. 60 to 70%. This did not, when they did these studies, and there's varied studies that say 60 to 70%, they didn't go, yeah, only in this culture. They've done studies all around the world, and nonverbal communication is a biggie in all of them. 60 to 70%. Maybe higher in some, right? Lower in others. But higher in some, lower in others. All right. There we go. I was wondering where this cotton is. There's a ton of cotton over this way. And I think, just off topic, just for a moment, just go pro tip, right? One of the things I love about this game is that the resources, you don't need to hoard them or hoard the information of where they're located. So you can actually have a really good role-playing session with people you like and tell them where you found stuff and tell the story. of where you found stuff, right? Because this game really doesn't take that into account as much. I'm heading towards Zebian, so I have to be a little bit more careful where I'm actually headed while I look for the cotton. The Zebians are near those trees and such. If I had a shield, maybe. Definitely with my armor, but not my leather armor. This is Meadow Sweet. Right? Yeah, Meadow Sweet. Used for alchemy. All right, let's continue. So culture, big factor in nonverbal communications. Digital adaptation. So in virtual communication, nonverbal cues are conveyed via video, emojis, and avatar animations. So use the reaction buttons on video conferencing platforms to give a little bit more nonverbal communication to people that you're in a meeting with. Sometimes you'll see it depending on the tool you're using, such as Zoom or Teams or Skype or Flock is one. I mean, insert your team team communication device, but they're there for a reason, and one of the reasons is to provide context into your nonverbal communication cues. And just as a side note, not even in our conversation, but it should be a conversation later on down the line. Sarcasm is not considered it's hard to convey through digital mediums, so be careful with that. Even when you're trying to convey a message, the sarcasm might not be the best message way to communicate. So that is a side note. Little take that and kind of ruminate on that a little bit. There we go. And then, so practical tip. Practice observing nonverbal cues in diverse settings to enhance your overall communication skills. See what other people are doing. That's how we learn as humans a lot of times, especially on the nonverbal communications. What are they doing? How are they reacting? And if you feel like you can and you're comfortable, I would highly recommend asking. Hey, you just did that. Can I ask why you did that? Or is there a reason you did that? Just curious. I'm doing a report, or I'm trying to find out more information about nonverbal communication. I would, you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. Why don't we ask those questions? Is it because we think it's rude? I don't think so. So much gotten, so little time. I should try to get my baking skill up while we're at it. But it's daytime. It's not like it's harder at night, it's just not as easy. Might be able to do this. If I can, it's a fight. There we go. Nice. Unbelievable that I got that. I know there's one back there, but there's plenty over here, so I'm not really too worried about it. Nope. Okay. Let's go into ancient philosophical perspectives on nonverbal communication. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, by the way. I'll pause and I'll look every once in a while up in the chat. If you're new to the channel and you're catching this on the flip side, go ahead and put it in your comments in the comment section. I'll get the notification that somebody asked a question or commented at all, and if I will be able to answer, at least respond to a certain degree. There's one over there. It's almost like there should be crown beard. I got plenty of crown beard. I got so much crown beard. All right. So, ancient philosophical perspectives on nonverbal communication. What did the ancients know about nonverbal communication? Why am I headed to my death? Okay. I wanted to pass by some stuff before I started to converse again. There's nothing worse than getting into a fight you're not ready for. Sun Tzu said it best when he said, pick your battlefield. Don't allow your enemy to pick the battlefield. In this case, more than likely, I will be put on my heels, not die, but it will not be pleasant, right? And playing the game, it has to be pleasant, right? All right. So, ancient Greece, Aristotle, and theatrical traditions. What a place to start, right? Makes sense. The theater of ancient Greece. So Aristotle recognized that nonverbal elements, gestures, facial expressions, and posture are integral into persuasive rhetoric. Well, why? Well, Greek theater emphasized expressive body language, such as actors using it for grand gestures or to convey emotion, right? Very exaggerated, right? It makes sense. The farther back in acting you go, the more exaggerated the movements, the more exaggerated the audio, if you will, the message itself. So public debates also relied on visible cues to validate the speaker's passion and credibility. And we'll go into it. I think I go into it in my notes. But what we're talking about with the speaker's passion and credibility, let's talk about passion just for a moment. If you're passionate about something, it doesn't mean you're angry. It doesn't mean you're upset or happy or ecstatic. You're passionate. Passion can be a great asset if used properly, or it can be a very bad thing. Well, not a very bad thing. People will be like, "Oh, he's angry all the time. I don't want to talk to him." And you're like, "Yeah, well, I just lost credibility because I was too passionate." I fault no one for being passionate. If somebody's angry, it's because they're passionate about the subject. I don't take it personally. Not myself, anyway. Oh, there's a little bit more. Almost there. You have grace, right? Jeez. And I always have to be prepared. Guess over this way there's not as much. Weird, right? Or did somebody come die and already pick it? That's the other. You have to wait for the respawn. Might have to take this 4. Ah, there's 2 down there. I'm not gonna take two more. Well, I can take it. Like I said, I don't want to take that much damage. Getting your body from this area isn't too bad either. So, because you have to retrieve your body when you die, which has all your equipment. Luckily, nobody can take your equipment. Which is, oh, there we go. There it is. Alright, so I have 50 on everything. Looks like I am only good. Teleport back. Boom. Petra May used to look really odd. I like that one better. Okay, so what are the key takeaways from Aristotle and the Greeks? Well, non-verbal cues must align with verbal messages to be effective. So modern public speaking or speakers incorporate or could incorporate controlled gestures and facial expressions for greater impact. Every time I teleport, I tell you, it's in my health. They really need to do something about that. Anyway. So what's the practical application? Well, practicing using deliberate gestures during speeches to reinforce your message. I bring them up with communication all the time. Check out Vin Gang's channel on YouTube. He's very good. And he mentions hand gestures, which position you put your hands, how you put your hands, how you're using your hands, how you're using your body if it's a stage. All of these are better use of gestures, right? I'm telling you, you'll get much more communication expertise than what I'm teaching you, but at least you'll have a basis for your for listening. So Aristotle, the treatise on rhetoric, remains a foundation for understanding nonverbal communication. So if you get an opportunity, go ahead and check that out. Oh, and for those of you who are new to the channel, when I start to go back to my house, any and all animals are mine to skin, and I don't need any of their that's not what I want to do. I'm sorry. That's okay. I'm just using them for skinning. It's a nice little house, isn't it? It's got going. And let's wait for this guy. Yes, hunting deer with axes. Okay. Let's go back to the... So let's talk ancient China and Confucius, or Confucian and Taoist traditions. Going all the way to Asia. So from the Confucian perspective, it emphasizes Li, which is Li, proper behavior, which includes controlled posture and respectful gestures. So bowing, a respectful bow, or a calm demeanor during discussions. Taoist perspective focuses on Wu Wei, or effortless action. Song coming soon. on my music channel, where natural, unforced, non-verbal cues convey inner harmony. So a Taoist in a relaxed posture is reflecting in their inner calm. Key takeaways: non-verbal communication is a reflection of one's inner moral and spiritual state. Where do you go? He's still mesmerized. There we go. And let me take care of this critter up here. He should see me. Come on. There we go. God, I hate that thing so much. Anyway. So, when you're a leader, adopt a calm, measured body language to instill confidence. How many times have you been in a room where somebody was just calm? It's almost like they knew what was going on, or they had a message that was worth hearing, right? Let's see, where are we going with this? So, practical application. Engage in practices like Tai Chi to avoid or to harmonize the body language and inner balance. So, what supports us? Well, ancient texts support us for the most part. And modern research on mindfulness support these methods as well. So kind of cool that modern research again catching up with the ancient, and that's my whole supposition, is the fact that ancient wisdom, or I should say modern techniques, are catching up with ancient wisdom. Gotta finish casting the spell. Luckily, that doesn't take any durability. I'm really hoping to get a little bit more advanced skinning. Okay. Let's fly over to ancient India. The Upanishads and the Buddhist practices. So let's talk the philosophical insights first. So nonverbal cues are central in meditation and yoga, emphasizing controlled, intentional body language. The I think it's mudras are hand gestures that express specific spiritual states. For example, states such as Gayan Mudra. Somebody must have killed this thing already. Gayan Mudra for wisdom is a hand gesture. I'm not schooled in that, but I'll probably look it up after this. I forgot I took that note. Usually, I don't want to go off on a tangent, so I'll just keep the note as well, so I don't have to define everything. Because once you define everything, you'll find that when you're taking notes on a big subject like this, or any subject like this, you'll be like, why am I, Wow, he ran all the way up there. That's too funny. Oh, somebody died here? Lance! He either died still or is never come back to pick up his body, but usually in about 24 hours, it stops. Lance, you poor fool. Grab these rabbits real quick. Really? The rabbit has to come back this way. It wants to come back this way. It needs to get back this way. There it is. That's one thing that I have to get when I get into the new world when we start over. So I gotta get this Demon Hunter's robe again. Sweet. Alright. So, meditation practices require awareness of the body, posture, and facial calm. Buddhist dialogues emphasize silence and attentive presence. The key takeaways, or you should take away, is, or what I took away with, is intentional, nonverbal expressions can lead to deeper self-awareness. Go on this side. Here we go. Done. All right. So incorporate your mindful posture and gestures to manage stress. Great. And if anybody's learned it, they might see you employing these and say, "Ooh, they're stressed out. What can I do to help?" Right? It's a big deal. Knowing and being empathetic to others. It is a real big deal. All right. Let's see. Studies in mindfulness and emotional regulation affirm the benefits of these practices, by the way. Look them up, they're awesome. Indigenous oral traditions. So, some cultural practice was storytelling is enriched by expressive, nonverbal communication. Gestures, eye contact, the rhythm are crucial. Examples: Native American elders often use deliberate gestures to emphasize storytelling. African proverbs and rituals include rhythmic body movements to convey meaning. So nonverbal cues are integral in transmitting cultural wisdom and fostering communal identity. So what's the application? Well, educators can use storytelling with expressive gestures to connect to the audience. So participate in cultural workshops to observe and practice traditional storytelling techniques. YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram. You know, how many avenues do we have to look at cultural influence? One footnote to all that I said is be careful, because the one thing they need to know, use your critical thinking mind so you can look at the source that you're getting the information from and apply whether it's a correct source or a non-correct source, right? So educators can use storytelling with expressive gestures to connect with audiences, right? That's a huge application of the nonverbal uh, indigenous storytelling. Let's see. Oh, here's some supporting evidence. Ethnographic studies have highlighted the importance of nonverbal communication within indigenous cultures. Let's move on to the Islamic Golden Age. Scholarly and aesthetic considerations. So they emphasize decorum, including subtle nonverbal cues as reflection of inner virtue. For example, Islamic calligraphy and art reflect balanced, harmonious design, a visual analog to controlled nonverbal expression. Scholars engaged in thoughtful debate and maintained composed demeanors. Nonverbal communication reveals one's inner ethical and intellectual states. So, in academic or professional settings, a composed demeanor enhances credibility. We talked a little bit about that. You might be passionate, but if you're composed, passionate, you can emphasize, but you don't have to scream. You don't have to holler. You don't have to get mad. You don't have to be excited. Overly excited, I should say. So practice techniques such as posture adjustment and controlled facial expressions during presentation. So historical accounts and modern analysis of classical Islamic scholarship underline these principles. So let's go into the practical applications and strategies. So let's look at everyday life first. So active observation exercises. Observe your own nonverbal cues daily in daily conversations. Note if your body language contradicts your words. That's what you really want to get out of it. And journal these observations. Keep that journal that we've been talking about in the series. And discuss with a friend to gain an external perspective. Also reflect on how adjustments can improve communication. One thing that Vin Gang mentions is film yourself in your communications. And he prescribes how to break down those communications. So first you watch it without any volume. Then you listen to it without any video, and then you'll look at the video with the. Well, he does it better. Go to his channel. He does it a lot better. And in that vein, there's mirror exercises, right? So practice speaking in front of a mirror to observe facial expressions and posture. You don't really have to do the mirror anymore. You can just use your phone, prop it up, and film yourself, right? Experiment with different gestures. Record and review your performance, right? Identify areas for improvement and repeat regularly for continuous refinement. You would also want to do mindfulness and body awareness. Engage in activities like yoga or meditation. Prayer is a meditation. So if you pray, you want to engage in activities like that. Focus how your posture and movements to express your inner state. The act of contrition in I think it's Catholic religion. What is the overall arching title is the act of contrition. When you're saying the act of contrition, what's your body posture? Is it contrite? Or is it arrogant? Is it confident? I think you see where I'm going there. And then, of course, reflect on changes in your interactions and build a routine for enhanced self-awareness. Feedback loops are always a thing. So after significant conversations, ask for feedback on your nonverbal communications. A lot of people do the verbal communications, but what about your nonverbal communications? It's an interesting question. I doubt many people would be like, I just didn't think of that. Why would you ask me about nonverbal communications? I would love to do that here, but you're just seeing Emfear making rough cotton cord. And still have a million experience points to go. Holy mackerel. There's that one. That's not enough, but I can bring that over. Plenty of leather. Ah, here we go. This looks like my junk drawer, huh? Alright. Let me think about what I want to do next as we go into the feedback loops. So use questions like, did my gestures help convey my message? Analyze feedback to refine your approach, and then document improvements over time. So encourage others to provide honest, constructive criticism. Like they could say, yeah, that hand gesture just threw me. Oh, well, how so? Oh, because I was moving with the hand. I was watching the hand. I wasn't listening. It distracted me too much. Oh, okay. You can write that down. Role-playing scenarios. Practice non-verbal communication in simulated environments. Use scenarios that require emotional expression and conflict resolution. Receive peer feedback. Adjust your approach based on your observations, and then build confidence for real-life interactions. That the whole thing will build confidence, right? In the career and leadership application, you might want to do structured presentation training. So incorporate purposeful gestures and facial expressions in your presentations. So use confident posture and deliberate hand movements when outlining key points. Record and review your presentations. Also solicit feedback, again, that feedback loop, from colleagues. Refine your delivery for maximum impact. If you're presenting in front of management, like higher executives and like directors, VPs, senior VPs, executive VPs, you know, the CEO, it wouldn't be out of bounds to ask them, hey, by the way, presentation aside, the presentation of the material, the message, how did you ask them questions about it? The audience is what your message is who your message is trying to reach. So getting direct feedback from people at high levels will also provide better understanding for future presentations. Okay. So team meetings and feedback sessions, right? That's another one. Encourage open and nonverbal communication during meetings. I know what I can do. I can go get some wool. To go get wool, I'm gonna have to fight bears. Lots and lots of bears. Nah. Too busy for this episode, honestly. And I'm just going back and forth now. Oh, well, we are role-playing. So I am home for right now. So I am going to get into my home attire. There we go. And Fear in his home attire. And I'll put all this back in there. Let's go see what my baking is going on. Still gotta finish my house though. Alright, so I need white bread. So I need wheat dough and tallow. Wheat dough and tallow, huh? Wonder if I have any wheat. It's been a while. It's rye. rye flour here. Lots of barley. Yeast. Oh. That's barley. Any wheat dough? Wheat flour. Wheat flour. There's tallow. There's wheat dough. I don't know, it's need more tallow, huh? Tallow. Tallow is... I think it's animal fat, but I think I have... There's lard. Yeah, lard is animal fat. Suet. Suet is tallow. There we go. All right. So mentorship modeling, or through modeling. So as a leader, model effective nonverbal communications, such as sharing personal stories while maintaining engaging eye contact and open gestures. Provide clear visual cues during discussions. Demonstrate active listening through nods and mirroring. And then foster an environment where nonverbal cues enhance trust. We could also leverage digital tools. So high quality video conferencing with clear visual capabilities is a start. Or use it, right? Integrate visual aids to reinforce key points. Ensure that your digital presence reflects your intended message. And then practice using digital body language, such as virtual backgrounds, avatar animations, etc. Review the recorded sessions for self-assessment. MMORPGs and virtual communities. So how do you apply this to those? Well, team coordination and clear commands. Develop the standardized callouts and cues for in-game events. Create specific signals like a wave or a sit for different strategic movements in Pax Dei. Practice these callouts in simulated raids, and when I talk about raids, I'm talking about ruins or there's a PvP element here, but honestly, I haven't been there, haven't done that. So okay, So debrief after sessions, refine the communications, and then maintain consistency across the team. Establish clan social contracts. Develop the clan charter that includes nonverbal communication norms. For example, outline acceptable avatar gestures and emoticons to express readiness or gratitude. Hold regular meetings to review these standards. And, of course, encourage feedback and revisions. And then use the charter to foster unity and trust. Need to make dough. Dough is water and yeast. Yep. All right. So how about non-digital verbal cues and avatars? So you got emoticons and gestures. Avatars can use smiles and frowns. Well, if they could use smiles and frowns, you want to use them. Gestures are waving, sitting, lying down to express emotion. If you have a clan leader, use the wave to gesture the signal to start the action, right? Maybe in a ruined raid or something like to that effect. These cues can help convey the mood and intentions in the absence of physical presence. Also, you don't have to interrupt the chat if you're in Discord in order to present the go signal. So for developers, enhance the naturalness of the avatar animations for gestures. We need smooth, realistic movements that mirror human behavior. Also, you can't stop what you're doing in order to do the enhancement. Offer cultural customization so players can choose gestures that resonate with their backgrounds. Or in Pax Dei, create specific Pax Dei cultures, right? Improve real-time responses so avatar cues sync perfectly with voice and text, and allow more user customization of nonverbal expressions. So if you integrate these improvements with digital tools such as high-quality video, expressive emoji systems, you could even have people turn on their camera, not necessarily for themselves, but so their avatar facial expressions will mimic the facial expression that you have in that is your camera that's facing you. So there's all kinds of evidence that these studies in digital communication show that expressive avatars increase engagement and trust in virtual teams. Research also says that from the Journal of Computer Mediated Communication suggests that natural nonverbal cues reduce miscommunication, and it emphasizes these features. I should emphasize these features are essential for effective virtual collaboration, not just nice to haves. All right, so active feedback and debriefing. Conduct structured post-game sessions focused on nonverbal communication. Discuss which digital cues, emoticons, gestures were most effective. Encourage constructive feedback and document lessons learned. Refine your strategies based on the input of your team. So what are the empirical insights that we were talking about? Well, the empirical research highlights Kahneman's dual process theory, which explains a balance between intuitive system 1 and analytical system 2 thinking, which recognize and interpret nonverbal signals before reacting. Am I out of... Nope. No, it's caught up in it. It hasn't been happening as often, but it has been happening. It catches itself. It doesn't continue the command to all. Okay, let's see where we are. Commons dual process. So his research is supported extensively through cognitive research. So Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy is where you should look up Kahneman's dual process theory. Studies on nonverbal communication from Mehrabian, I still know, Mehrabia. Research indicates that nonverbal cues can account for 60 to 70% of the communication's effectiveness. So emphasize body language and facial expressions in your interactions. Supported by multiple empirical studies. It's not just one or two. And articles on nonverbal communication, such as in communication journals, will help you additionally. Six. Oh, no. How do I know what I'm looking at? Oh, I have a possibility of actually leveling this if I get more talent. Transformational leaderships such as Base and Avalayo, leaders who can effectively use nonverbal cues are shown to inspire greater trust and engagement. So integrate nonverbal elements in presentations to boost your team's morale. So the empirical evidence correlates ethical and effective nonverbal communication with improved performance. So look at JSTOR, and leadership research articles. We even have some neuro leadership research from David Rock. And what I need to tell. I don't know how many suits I've actually thrown away. Probably a lot. Guess I'm gonna have to go out and get some, huh? Oh, wait. You can see it. Lots of Tele. Here we go. Now we got more Tele. Perfect. Only 14. Okay. So, neuro leadership research from David Rock demonstrates that blending emotional and analytical processing, including nonverbal cues, improves decision making. Interesting. So, application: incorporate mindfulness practices to better observe and adapt nonverbal signals. Of course, how is this supported? By neuroimaging and psychological studies. Recent articles on neuroleadership is where you want to throw your reference term in there. So, digital nonverbal communication studies. Well, research shows that effective use of emoticons and avatar gestures in virtual environments enhances clarity and user engagement. So, I would suggest improvements for digital communication tools to developers, right? Empirical evidence supports the positive impact for natural digital cues. And of course, the Journal of Computer Meditated Communication is one of the references that you can go look for these studies. So, reflective exercises based on the research. So, you have a post-event reflection, which we've talked about exhaustively. And we have group discussions. So, organize a small group discussion or online forum thread focused on nonverbal communication experiences. Compile a collective lessons learned list. Enhanced collective learning and strategy refinement will be the outcome. And when do you use it regularly in team settings or community settings? So let me recap as we're I guess I need water. As we're gonna probably is it here? Nope. Here. I guess. I didn't want to do that. That's fine. What's that next up? 26. What's this one then? Oh, I'll just get rid of these things. Next up, 26. Why? Probably eat one of these two. As I can. I want to see what my just 180. Just my health. Your health goes up. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get rid of these. And I'll throw those in the river for the fishes. Into the river. Here we go. I don't have the way up there. Water. All right. So let's recap. We went over nonverbal communication and its power. It's an unspoken language that shapes our interactions. The ancient philosophies from Greece, China, India, indigenous cultures, and the Islamic Golden Age provide timeless insights into the nonverbal expression. Practical applications span everyday life, career leadership, and MMORPG communities. Empirical research supports that effective nonverbal communication enhances trust, clarity, and team performance. We also went over that digital nonverbal cues, such as avatar gestures and emoticons, are critical for virtual interactions and should be enhanced by developers. By mastering the art of nonverbal communication, you empower yourself to connect more authentically, whether face-to-face, online, or in virtual worlds. So let me put the question I have for the day is, what nonverbal cue will you focus on improving in your next conversation, meeting, or gaming session? I invite everybody to share their reflections with the community, in the community forums, and on my social media. It will help everyone learn. Here's some questions just to get your mind moving in that direction. What challenges have you encountered in nonverbal communication, and how do you think these techniques can help you overcome them? I know there's not many people yet on the channel, so every response is valuable. I will respond to everybody. Every insight contributes to our collective growth. The feedback will be discussed if anybody gives me a response to the questions. I'll hit them when we have the next podcast. The next podcast will be on Friday, so we have I have work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at night, so I will not be able to cast unless there's a major update. So some final reminders. Experiment with one new nonverbal communication technique this week. Be it practicing mindful body language at home, using clear avatar gestures during your next Pax Dei session, or your MMORPG session, or enhancing your presentation skills. Share your experience on the social media. I'd love to know about it. So stay tuned for more episodes exploring how ancient wisdom continues to shape modern communication and leadership. Before I sign off, I would like to say I'm working on my next video. It's a Spanish-English mix. I think everybody will enjoy it. The video is coming along swimmingly. And I hope that everybody will check out words like stones and I guess I can say my catalog. It's like 6 songs, but go check them out. I think you'll have fun. So thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the unspoken language of nonverbal communication. If you found tonight's session or podcast valuable, please like, subscribe, and share. Stay curious, stay expressive, and until next time.
With every step, a lesson learned. From fire's heat to the fields I've turned. The blade and bow, the forge and flame. I sharpen my skills, I play the game. Each day brings a challenge I must face. I train my hands with careful grace. From alchemy's art to the hunter's way, I'll find the strength to seize the day. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil, I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance, I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. From the herbs I find to the iron I mold, each lesson learned is a story told. The stars above, they guide my hand, as I hold my craft, I take my stand. In the quiet woods, in the mountains chill, I push myself, I shape my will. With each new tool and every lore, I'm stronger now than I was before. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil, I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance, I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. The road is long, but I won't turn back. The lessons I learned keep me on track. With each new skill, the stronger I grow. In the face of the storm, I let my courage show. I've tasted defeat, I felt the sting, but I rise again with each new spring. For knowledge is power, and wisdom the key. I'm forging my path, I'm breaking free. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance, I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready